She goes, the cancer's back, and it's worse than last time. That situation led me to a mental breakdown. I tried committing suicide, and God finally spoke. And he said,
all right, pal, so what are we doing here? What you doing today?
So today, guys, we're here at Mission Hills Church, and I'm going to spread some hope and awareness on what it's like when bad things happen to good people. A lot of times in life, it's easy to kind of understand like, okay, there's bad things happening because I'm acting bad, but life, I've learned this, bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. So I'm here today to bring some insight for people that are gonna be in the crowd in case they go through something terrible. How do you navigate that without relapsing and without destroying your life and without being mad at God? You know, because sometimes we want to blame God and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing here today.
Forget how to sit or what?
I think so. You know, sometimes in life I've learned to stand tall because if I sit too much, I'll miss out.
It's so uncomfortable.
Hey, it's because I don't ever want to get comfortable. Yeah, so like when I prepare for like my speeches, depending on how much time they give me. So for example, let's say for this one, I knew 2 months in advance. So for me, I don't really think about it the first month probably. I would say the closer I get to the event, I kind of start to just, you know, randomly get ideas in my head. Okay, who's the crowd? Okay, for example, Christian crowd. Okay, so I can say Jesus. They don't want cussing, don't cuss. Okay, who's the audience? People in recovery. How much time do they got? A lot of newcomers. Okay, I'm gonna put myself in their shoes, what they're probably going through. And then how much time do I got? 30 minutes, okay. So I kind of start to think like that first. And then for me, I don't write anything down. What I'll do is I'll play background music in my car, like emotional background music. And I let it play and I kind of just let my mind just go somewhere. And then sometimes just from conversations with people and being around people, I'll get like ideas of how to go about it. And that's how I prepare for it. And when I go up there, it's like it all goes out the door. And I kind of just, you know, tell myself, just start speaking. And once I start speaking, I kind of get in a flow and it always works out. But this one, a week before I'm supposed to go on, they asked me if I can change my message because like I shared earlier, we had someone from the church have a terrible accident. And so the energy is kind of, it's fresh. And he asked me if I had any stories in my testimony that I could talk on about like terrible things that have happened to me when I'm like living right, when I'm sober, when I'm going to church, when I'm trying to live a good life. And so I was able to kind of be like, okay, yeah, definitely. I got nervous. Then I sat on my phone and I was like, oh, my mom got cancer at 8 months sobriety. I lost my home and got cheated on at my 3-year sobriety. And then I had a seizure and was like half brain dead for a month when I had 5 years of sobriety. And my aunt died. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll share these 3 things and try to create a message off of it. You know, so that's how I prepare for the speech, was like that.
I love talking with him because he's one of those people that what you kind of see is what you get. And I think him and I are a lot alike in that sense, that if I'm hurting or I'm feeling down, you guys can sense it and see it and feel it, and I'll talk about it. And that's the same with Fausto. He's not afraid to just say, here's where I'm at. Had a rough week or had a rough day or whatever that was. And I'm eternally grateful for when he came and spoke and just said, I had a really bad 6-month period, right? And it got dark for him. But he leaned back in and he trusted his faith, and he had a sabbatical and came back stronger and ready to give back again. And so, would you guys do me a huge favor and just give a huge round of applause to my brother in Christ, Fausto.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for all being here today. And today, what I want to do with the message today is, for me, it was always a struggle when I feel like you're doing everything right, you're living right, you're going to church, you're going to meetings, you're making it right, and then something terrible happens to you. See, it's easy to understand if you're in your addiction or you're doing things, living the wrong way, you have some bad behaviors, you're around some bad environments, it makes sense if something terrible happens. That's what happens. People used to ask, well, like, it's not fair that my friend got shot. And it's like, well, isn't your friend a gangster? He's in an environment where it can happen. I'm mad that I'm in prison. And it's like, well, didn't you make a bad decision that ended you up in prison? I'm mad that I got a DUI. Weren't you drunk driving? It's easy, right, to kind of digest those things, but what happens when you're living right, doing right, and then something terrible happens to you? And so, just to give you guys a quick little summary of who I am. So, I'll be coming up on being 9 years clean this October. And, I had the story, a lot of childhood trauma. I was a victim of a pedophile. I was sexually abused by a kid when I was 7. Drug addiction for about 11 years. Insecure, shy kid. Codependency. My dad was a narcissist. So lots of pain. And for me, the root problem was I don't feel enough. There's this invisible area right here that I can't walk past. So if I could become something of value, then maybe that person over there will walk towards me. So that's why I lied, manipulated. I tried to get good at baseball, DJing, bartending, magic, skateboarding, trying to be a comedian, just something, so someone could come to me. And then when I found alcohol, guess what happens? I can walk past that invisible wall or space and say, hi, Sarah, my name is Fausto. Hi, Eric, my name is Fausto. That's why I drank. So that's a little bit about me. And obviously the rock bottom happens. I try killing myself, and then I find God. I go to AA. I get clean and sober, and life gets really good. Now what I want to walk you through is of where terrible things happen in my life when I was doing right. Because see, if you struggle with addiction of whatever it is, the goal is to not get high and drink or do something negative even when bad things happen in your life. But a lot of us don't have the emotional sobriety or the maturity to be able to walk through those things. They're difficult. We know how to run away from it. We know how to avoid it. We know how to numb it, but I don't know how to walk through it. So 2018, I had 8 months sober. One of my amends I wanted to make was with my mother, because when she had cancer, in my addiction, I didn't go to one single of her treatments. She had a really aggressive cancer. She had to get one of her breasts cut off. She lost all her hair, and I didn't go to any of her treatment appointments. So when I got sober in 2017, I was like, I get to make this right. I'm gonna, help her around the house. I'm gonna help her with rent. I'm gonna celebrate her birthday. I'm gonna be a good kid. I'm gonna ask for forgiveness. And so I was happy. When I had 8 months sober in 2018, I was on top of the world. I felt healthy. I felt happy. I was going to church. I was going to meetings every week, reading my Bible. I was that Jesus freak. I was like, everyone has to know Jesus. Everyone's got to get sober. I'm sober, Faust. Life is great. And me and my buddy were going to go for a 1-week road trip to Texas. He was going to do, I think, a bodybuilding show. And so I was like, cool, we're going to stop by New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. And the day we were leaving, I'm packing up, and my mom goes, hey, I need to tell you something. I'm like, oh, what's up, Mom? She goes, the cancer's back, and it's worse than last time. And I remember I'm literally about to leave on this road trip. I'm in a good place, and then I get this news, and I can't even process it or digest it. I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, wait, what? Because in my mind, I'm like, nothing bad happens anymore. I'm doing right. God's giving me another chance. He wouldn't do that to me, right? You're not going to take away my mom. That would make no sense to me. So my mom's like, dude, just go on your trip. I got a doctor's appointment. I'll keep you updated. So I remember we're driving to San Diego, and I'm just kind of in this weird place. I'm just dissociated. Because in my head, first of all, I'm angry at God. I'm confused. I thought this is not supposed to happen. This only happens when you live a bad life. Well, this first time, now I can look back, because you can never understand why you're going through something until you look back and connect the dots. So in the moment, I didn't understand it. But the first thing God did in that moment was my buddy, he goes, hey, I actually got to tell you something. My mom had cancer. And it was really aggressive too. And he started crying and opening up to me how when they walked through it, she was going to die. It was in her tongue. They had to cut out her tongue. So in that moment, I saw God showing up for me by giving me a person that can actually understand the pain and talk with me in the car. It brought me some comfort. Well, when I get back from the trip, my mom falls out at the mall, and they have to rush her to the hospital. My sister calls me crying. Mom fell out. And I remember I'm trying to drive to Kaiser, and I'm shaking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to die today. And I remember I was like, God, why would you do this? I didn't have enough time to make it right. I was so angry. And I'm like trying to drive, trying not to, get pulled over. And I heard this voice, and God was like, now you get to show up to all her treatments. Go there, hold her hand, and just be present. And it was wild because I really did hear something within my soul, and I felt peace. I'm an anxious person. I don't feel peace that easily. And so I go to the hospital, and it was kind of almost like I was an autopilot mom, just going in, okay, where's she at? I go in there, I sit down with her, I'm holding her hand. And it was weird because I felt peace in that, like everything was going to be okay, whatever happened. And so in that moment, as I'm sharing that story, God showed up quickly that time for me. Quickly. Very quick. Luckily, my mom was able to beat it, but I was there the whole year with her. Every week, every treatment, every aspect of it. Because if anyone's had a loved one go through cancer, it's hard because I have no control of how she's going to feel that day. I don't know. It's just kind of being there. But she beat it. So that story was great for me. Okay, she beat it. I see what you did, God, thank you. So for that one is God showing up quickly. So I get ready for my 5 years, right? It's right before, I want to say it's about, I think it's 2 weeks before my 5 years. Or maybe a month. I'm laying down on my couch, and my mom calls me crying on the phone, and I'm like, first thing I always think, oh great, the cancer's back. That's always my fear. She goes, hey, your cousin's in the hospital. I go, what happened? She had a seizure at 24 Hour Fitness. They had to rush her to the hospital. And I'm like, is she okay? And she goes, I don't know. Go to the hospital like at 2 or 3 in the morning, and the doctors say she's brain dead. I go, what do you mean she's brain dead? She's healthy. She's like 38 years old. What do you mean? Well, she had a seizure and she's brain dead. So she's on life support. And so when I show up, I'm trying to show up and work my program. Okay, it's not about me. How are you doing? What can I do for you? Do you need help with something? Stay strong. And they're like, Foster, you believe in God. Pray over her. It'll work. I'm like, I got this. In my mind, I'm like, oh, God's about to show up right now. So I pray. Hour goes by. She's brain dead. She's not coming back, they said. So within 24 hours, we got to pull her off of life support. So I kept it to myself. And the next day, I have a grand mal seizure in my car, and I die for 5 minutes. Remember, my cousin just had it. She went brain dead and died. I have it, died for 5 minutes. They brought me back. I woke up in the ambulance, and I was half brain dead for a month. I didn't know my name. I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know how to walk. I would come into consciousness like, what is happening right now? Did my cousin just die right now? And then all of a sudden come out of consciousness. And then I'd come back in. I'm like, wait, how am I going to be a therapist if I can't even use my brain? Wait, what's going on right now? And then I'm like, wait, I can't even comprehend what God is because wait, what's happening right now? Like it was crazy. So in those moments where I kind of remember what was going on, it was scary. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to die. And also, I don't want to tell people what's going on because my cousin just died of this. It would feel weird to tell them, like, this is happening. So for 1 month, I had no idea if I was ever going to, be normal. And bless my girl's heart, imagine 2 months dating and then you got to take care of the person that you're dating already dying on your couch because I couldn't drive, so she had to take care of me for 2 months. And so in that month period, I was again, it was hard to comprehend because I didn't understand nothing, my name or nothing. A month goes by. I feel a little bit normal. I think I go to see Pastor Phil. I think we're at the Magic House, and there's worship happening. And I remember I'm just like numb. I'm like, God, you need to speak to me or comfort me. I have no idea what you're doing. And it was weird too. I felt like nobody was there for me. I don't know. That probably wasn't true. I just felt like that. I was so numb. And all of a sudden, I hear the song, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes sense. God's speaking to me. I felt comfort with this worship song, and I was crying, and I was like happy. And I'm going home, I remember, and I was like, oh God, thank you. You showed up for me. I think I get it. My phone rings. And it's my cousin. She's screaming on the phone. She goes, not again. I go, what do you mean not again? She goes, it's my mom. I go, what? She had a seizure. They're rushing her to the hospital. Brain dead. So now I'm driving to the hospital again, numb. I thought God just showed up for me. And then that same night, this happened. So I'm driving to the hospital, numb, on autopilot. And I get there, and I remember I'm in there, and same thing. Same family, one less person because my cousin's dead, and now it's her mother, which is my aunt. Same situation, the same bed on life support. Within 24 hours, you pull off of life support. At this point, I'm just like, I'm numb. 6-year sobriety comes. I have this bright idea to solve my problems. I know how God's going to listen to me. I got to throw the biggest Christmas party in history and give away a ton of money and therapy and clothing and food and stuff to the community. So I threw this big event at the Magic House. Anthony was there. We had people dancing on the rooftops, worship leaders, and people were getting saved and was crying and giving away all this stuff. It was amazing. And I think Pastor Ian was there. Yeah, you were there. That's right. It was amazing. The next day I go to the Caribbeans with my girl, and my first thought was, I'm going to kill myself. I'm depressed. And I look up again and go, I don't get it. I've never been so angry at God and so mad and so in fear because a year of not being able to hear his voice, I was struggling. I could not understand it. And I feel like I could share that story with people. And the last thing I needed to hear when I would share it with somebody, hey, bro, don't worry. God's got you. I was like, oh, it's not what I want to hear. Maybe you should pray more. It's not working. Maybe you should go to this church. It ain't working. Maybe you need to sponsor more people. It ain't working. You know, something I've learned from somebody was there's a time and a place to say something, and there's a time and a place to just be still with somebody. That's what I needed. So that situation led me to a mental breakdown. I tried committing suicide, and luckily I was not successful with it. I felt bad that the girl I was with had to visually see that. That wasn't a pretty sight. And so she goes, what do you need? I want to leave the country at this point. I want to quit everything and leave the country. She goes, where do you want to go? I'm like, I want to go to Bali. I saw a TikTok on it. It looks amazing. So she goes, all right, let's do it. I'm like, okay, hold on. Okay, that's cool. How are we going to do it? I pay my mom's bills. My job is here. I have credit card debt. I got, car payments, school payments, like all this. She goes, if you could figure out how to take care of that stuff in the next 2 months, I will pay for the whole trip because I believe in you. Thank God for that woman. So I prayed again. I gave it another shot. I said, God, I don't know what you're doing, but if this is what I'm supposed to do, pave a way. Somehow make me find a way to get rid of this stuff that costs money and give me a way to make money without me having to be present so I can pay my mom's bills. God finally showed up. Things got put aside. I didn't have to pay. Money started coming in another way randomly so I could pay my mom's bills and not be present. And I packed my bag with my girl And we left for 6 months and went backpacking through 14 countries in Asia. In that time period, it was me talking with God the most intimate way possible because no one spoke English over there, so I can't have a conversation. 2, I don't understand what anyone's saying, so it's just kind of me existing, and I don't know what they're saying. I don't understand, Chinese and Japanese and Korean and all that stuff. And so it was like this radical place of complete silence within myself to hear God's voice. I was doing a devotional every day, and I was like, God, what are you doing? And God finally spoke, or I finally heard. And he said, you're trying to save the world, and because you wouldn't slow down, because you wanted to save everybody, you need to learn to love yourself and find peace within yourself, knowing that I will love you regardless if you help someone or not. And so when I heard that, I sat with that, and all of a sudden in that 6-month period, the one thing I've always been looking for my entire life was just love for myself and peace that I thought I had to go to church for, I had to go to AA for, that I had to sponsor people for, that I had to donate for, that I had to do all these actions to get. And God's like, it doesn't work like that. Don't work like that. If Marco saves one person, you save 1 million, guess who I love more? Neither of you. I love you the same. But guess what? Marco has more time for his family, and he's resting, getting good night's sleep, taking care of his health, and you're over here losing your mind. I found peace. I found self-love, and I felt God in a way that I've never felt before. And so in that time where I discovered that truth and felt that, when I came back home 2 years ago, I was like, let's see if this is true. When I come back to my environment, let's see what happens. And in that 2-year period, my life got blessed tenfold. I haven't had a seizure again. I've taken care of my health. I'm happier than I've ever been. I have boundaries. I could take care of my family more. I have better relationships with my friends, with my partner. My life got better. So Ecclesiastes 9:2-1. There we go. Both good and bad things happen to everyone. They happen to those who are fair and to those who are wicked. They happen to those who are good and to those who are evil. The same things happen to a good person as happen to a sinner. The same things happen to a person who makes promises to God as to one who does not. We live in an unfair world. It's not God punishing us. We live in an unfair world. Things happen. Things happen. And remember, the devil blesses people too. So you got to be very careful. Sometimes things look nice, don't mean they're nice. But you got to understand, this is why they always say, right? All we have is today. You guys truly have today. You never know what might happen an hour from now when we leave this place. All you have is today. So love each other today as if it's the last day. And if you live like that every day, you'll never regret it. You just never know. So love each other, be there for each other. Understand that's just life. It's precious. Be grateful for today. Be grateful that you're alive. And just know this, lean on each other when you go through hard times. And just know you will get through it. Lean on God's understanding and know that you'll be able to see why it's happening when you look back at life. I'm proof today that, some of the hardest things that you can go through, you can get through. Keep your brothers and sisters in prayer when they're going through something. And just know that you guys can get through anything with God and the people around you. And sometimes things just take time. So I appreciate you guys for being here and listening. Hopefully something I said makes sense. And thank you guys for the time.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Right,
shit.
here you go, buddy.
Thanks, bro.
Look at that, buddy. 3 years he's celebrating.
Hold it up.
That's what it is. 3 years sober, buddy.
Real quick, let me see that.
What? Pretty cool shit. Thanks, dude.
I love you, buddy.
You too.
I would have never thought he would have got it.
Yeah.